So anyway, I've only got 15 minutes. So I'm just going to feed you with as much stuff as I learned through my experiences in starting companies, in losing money, in making money, and all that in 15 minutes. We don't have time. We don't have time to be nice or politically correct. It's going to be 2015. I'm turning 45. I don't have time to be nice, so I'm just going to tell you what it is, all right? Okay, so here we go. In all the many different experiences I've been, the only thing that rings true all these years in my life is you either innovate or you die. Basically, you innovate or you die, right? Because the world is so fast-paced right now, things change very fast. Innovation is no longer a bonus, right? It's not like, hey, we work at this place, and by the way, it's good if other innovation, right? That's a bonus, but it's not a bonus because it's not something nice to have. It is something that is to be expected right now in all these great companies that we want to work in, right? It's something necessary so that we can survive. So if we don't innovate, basically, we die. So today, I would like to talk about how we bring about innovation into the workplace, into yourselves. Now, I've worked in many startups. I've also worked in some big companies, and I've seen how some companies succeed and fail. And I think for today, I want to share with you just 6 points about innovation. Okay? Point number 1. What is more important? Great ideas or a great team? Hands up, great ideas. Hands up, great team. Whoa, you guys are the first class that actually gets it correct. Except for the guy at the back there. Okay, anyway. Why is a great team more important? Well, it's definitely not from Media Prima. A great team is more important because if there is a great idea and you give it to a bad team, the great idea will turn bad very fast. If there's a bad idea given to a great team, the great team will either change the idea to make it better or just throw away the idea and come up with a better idea. Because great teams come up with great ideas. So if you want a great idea, you start with a great team first. Therefore, a great team is a core of innovation. Always. It's not the technology, it's not the ideas. People drive innovation. So if you get people right, in your company, you'll get innovation right. So for me, hiring, I don't know whether you can see that. I tried to enlarge the font just now while I was sitting there because I saw how big the screen was. anyway, TalentCorp budget. Right. So hiring is key. Hiring is really key. If you get the HR right, we will get the company that we want. If you get the HR wrong, then we spend the whole time trying to figure out how to get rid of that guy, which is a waste of time, right? HR is important because people are the most important asset, correct? Are the people most important asset? You are wrong. The right people are the most important asset. Mark Zuckerberg once said, you know Mark Zuckerberg, right? This room should know Mark Zuckerberg. He said that it's important to get the right team in the right bus, in the right seats. Right? If you get the wrong people, as I said just now, you spend all your time trying to fix that guy. You can't just get rid of him. There's labor law and stuff, right? You got to figure this out. So to me, the right attitude is more important than the right skill. Always. Skill you can learn. Attitude you can't. We'll come back to this later. So if you hire right, you don't need management. You just need empowerment. Right? I think that in all the companies, successful companies that I've been in, I got my job right upon hiring and take a long time in hiring. After hiring, I don't need to do much because the guy is flying on his own. So basically, I just go around and give talks. That's all I do. The company is run by amazing guys, right? Okay, now, the other one is you got to hire people from outside the industry. Always. Because if you want out-of-the-box solutions, you require people who don't even know your box, right? So to me, I always get more success by hiring people from outside the industry. And like Cheryl said, actually, hire people smarter than you. And this is the thing that I see a lot of managers are afraid of. They're afraid they will lose their jobs because the kids they hire are smarter than them. I think that's better to be surrounding yourself with people smarter than you. Then, of course, you will feed off from them. Okay, point number 2. It's not a job. It's a mission. It's a mission. And when I hire people, especially the key jobs, I will always ask a lot of questions in the interview. But the actual question that I want to know the answer to, but I'm not really asking you, is this question. Are you going to die for the mission? Will you die for the mission? That's really, really important to me, because to me, a successful company is when everybody pursues a calling, right? It's about why we do it and not what we do. That's more important if you want to get innovation into your company. The end game is making lots of money, right? Wrong again. The end game is doing something of significance. That's more important. The money will come if you manage to do something of significance. So for me, and I'm going to give you this third point, which I think has been my trade secret for a long time, but I'm already 45, so I'm going to share it anyway, right? Number 3 is very important, because you always talk about getting hits, getting hits, getting hits. I'm going to tell you how you're going to get hits, right? You got to remember that it's not a product. What you're doing is not a product. It's a movement. It's an anthem of a generation. Sounds big, big words. Anthem of a generation. What are you doing? Your product should be something that just rides on the zeitgeist of the community, or whatever the rides, makes the waves. It's not part of the wave. I was lucky because last time, I don't know whether you guys know, because you guys look so young, but I used to run a record label long time ago. It was called Positive Tone. And we had some artists, and some of them, well, OAG, Innuendo, and Too Fat, Poetic Ammo, those guys. Oh, thank you. Now, shall I sing a song now? No, I will not sing a song. I'm a producer, not a singer. Anyway, what happened is that those are not just hits. They define a generation. They were the anthem of a generation. That's why they last until today, right? When I launched ATV, when we created all these crazy shows, it was the sound and the feeling of a generation. When I launched Tone Tone, yes, I'm the one who put all those crazy dramas online for you to watch. When we launched Tone Tone, it's all about a sound, what the generation wanted. And of course, this one I didn't launch, but this is also another anthem of a generation, right? That's Frozen. Why is it so successful? Because of the theme, let it go. To all these young kids, young girls, let it go. I'm going to let it go, Mom. I'm going to fly away. They love it. See, it's not just a hit. It's an anthem of generation. So if you're making a product, if you want it to be a long-lasting hit, it's got to ride the generation and not just a one-hit wonder. Okay? So remember, it's about why we do it and not what we do. So think about it. When you guys have companies, or you're working in a company, when you talk to your colleagues or you talk to your workforce, the things you say, the way you say it, the belief you have in yourself or your organization and your product, think again, is it a mission? If it's not, can it be a mission, right? If it's a mission, it's not just work, because it becomes more than work, right? It's life. It's not just coming up with ideas, it's coming up with an ideology. I like this next phrase. An idea is great. Everybody wants ideas. And to be an ideal is superb. But ideology changes the world, right? It changes the world. Say what you say about this company now, but they had an ideology that changed the world. Another ideology that changed the world is one of my favorite brands of all time. Can anybody know what is my favorite brand of all time? No? Apple? It's up there already. Not paying attention, Mr. Johan. No. People might say, yeah, Apple will be the first choice, but actually to me, Star Wars is the biggest, is the most amazing brand of all time, because everybody is still talking about it 40 years after it's been made. Now, we want our product to be not an idea, not an ideal, but an ideology. So ask yourself, is the product you're making, is it an idea? Is it an ideal, or is it an ideology? A lot of people, 90%, will be on idea side. And then some will be on ideal. But to be an ideology, that's when you can change the world. Not many people get to ideology, right? Star Wars, the fact there's an ideology, do you know that there's a Church of Jediism in Maryland? There's, in 2001, there was a survey done for people in England and Wales to list down what is your reported religion. Number 4 is Jedi. That's Christianity. And then number 4 is Jedi. I'm a Jedi. So I don't know what they're drinking up there in England. So anyway, Star Wars changed the world, and you want your brand to also change the world. So let it be an ideology. And third point, and I think Cheryl might know this quite well, if you're not failing, you're not really trying, right? Failure is essential. I was very fortunate to be able to be tutored under this guy last time when I was studying. He is a serial entrepreneur in the United States. Serial because he started 300 companies. Out of the 300 companies, 30 made to the Fortune 500. So he said this in class one day. He said, you guys are studying entrepreneurship, right? This is the first thing I'm going to say. If by the age of 30, you're not either a millionaire or broke, you're not really trying. You played safe. And I kept that with me all this while. Like, if you want to be an entrepreneur, you got to take the risk, right? And I tell you why risk is important, because let's look at the hit logic. I've been fortunate again, making records. I understand there's a logic behind creating hits. It's not just magic, there's a logic behind it. Now, hits come from being something new, fresh, and different. You cannot make something the same and expect it to be a hit. It's got to be new and fresh and different. You got that, right? Hits got to be new and different. Therefore, if it's new and different, hits usually has no precedent or research guarantee. No precedent to make a hit. There's no such thing as to have a hit, I have this on my checklist. I once actually worked with a creative agency who said they're going to write a song, and they surveyed 10 songs, and they found out what works, and they put a checklist. It was writing a song by numbers. Of course, when the song came out, it was horrible. All right. You can't make the same album twice, from the music analogy. If Coldplay make exactly the same album as they just did, you would hate them. They got to do something new. The Beatles, with each album, they change. They transform themselves once a year, sometimes twice a year. From 1964 to 1970, they keep changing themselves. Because musicians know, if you make the same thing twice, you're old, right? So you have to take risks to innovate. Failure is part of the process. Okay. If you plan for everything to be successful, then everything will fail. I give you a story of a guy I met in Sony Pictures who happened to work for Disney once. And he said there was a point of time when Disney had Touchstone Pictures. You know Touchstone Pictures, right? So Disney had Touchstone Pictures, and there was a group of new executives that came in. And the CEO at the time, of course, Michael Eisner. So he was telling everybody, guys, we're going to make 10 movies this year. Out of the 10 movies, 7 will fail. 3 will make it and cover the rest. So this new guy got up and said, why don't we make all 7, in fact, all movies to follow that formula of the 3. Then all will be successful. The next day, the guy got fired. Because you can't do that. Because you're playing safe. Once you make all the movies to be a certain formula, everything will fail. Because you have to take risks, like point number 1 and number 2. Right? So it's risky to be safe, and it's actually safe to be risky. I bring up Disney again from this example. You know The Little Mermaid, right? They took a risk with that. You might think they took a risk with The Little Mermaid. They actually did, because before The Little Mermaid, they had 3 or 4 bombs, and the guy nearly lost his job until they came out with a formula for Little Mermaid, which was to make it as Broadway as they can. So from The Little Mermaid came Beauty and the Beast, came Aladdin, came Mulan, and all those things. So, but it started from that. So they took a risk. Pixar was also a big risk before all the success that it had, right? Pixar nearly sold itself to become a 3D modeler for a General Motors or Chrysler or something, because they nearly ran out of money. But they still decided to take a risk and go with what they know. So risk is very important. So point number 4, great product versus hit innovative product. Now everybody wants to be on this side, the hit innovative product. So this is when I show you a little formula. So if you have research in your company, if you have a product, you have research, of course. In your research, you will get information. And together with information, you will get insight. Now you combine these two, you will have a great product, correct? Every other company is doing this. So for you to rise above everybody else, you need to add two more ingredients. And that is gut instinct and courage. Gut instinct and courage is the one that actually creates that exciting hit, and I would dare say it, an exciting miss as well. So you either go up in blazing glory, or you go down in blazing flames. Either way is fun, right? Right, so you got to take that risk. You got to have the balls to do it, right? So if you don't use gut instinct and courage, you'll be just like everybody else. So you want to rise above everybody else. Number 5, where I think most of the people in the room actually do this, which is challenge the status quo. Think different. Now, I'll run you a bunch of quotes that I've been working with. The best way to predict the future is to actually make it. It's something that I've lived by as well. Number 2, there's always a new way to do something if you want to be in an innovation mode, right? Number 3, leading the market is better than being a slave to it. Now, all these quotes show that you got to be in front all the time. But I want to add you the 4th thing that I learned, tempered by all my years of success and actually failures. You got to be careful. You have to ease the market into innovation, or else you risk something called ISS. Do you guys know what IS is? Innovative shot sendiri. Innovate shot sendiri, right? That means you're so into yourself and your product that nobody in the hell understands what you're doing, not even your girlfriend. I will show you how not to innovate shot sendiri. Again, a secret I'm giving out because I'm 45 and nearing retirement. Okay, let's look at Malaysia as a demographic society susun by a triangle, right? This is society, and let's say the progressive people is always in that orange thing. You see the triangle on top. Let's put it on its side and put it against the time axis, right? And let's say you are a maker of an innovative product. So innovative product is there, right? Now, where would you place your product if it's an innovative product? Now, most people, because we're running out of time, I'm going to tell you the answer quickly. Most people would put the product right smack in the orange side, right? That's when you might get innovative shot sendiri, right? You got to actually put it at the neck. Why you should put it at the neck? Because your money is in the mass market. That's the one that keeps you alive. The mass market is going to keep you going. So once the mass market sees this product here, it's not too far from them. And the urban progressive guys go like, it's not too alien to us as well. We understand this. So then the mass market will start moving to this product. Now, of course, when the mass market starts moving to this product, right, you got mass market movement here. You know what happens when the mass market moves to the progressive side? What happens to the progressive guys? They go like, yeah, I'm moving further away from you, right? I can't beat this. I'm cooler than you guys. So they go ahead. So what happened is that the whole society moves forward. And your product, which was once called in the neck of innovation, now becomes mass market. Now you're milking it. You're making lots and lots of money, but only for the short term. If you're happy with the short term, that's fine. But if you want to continue to innovate, you got to move your product into the new neck. You got to move away or find another product to move into the new neck. And then the whole thing begins again. Society keeps progressing, right? And in a way, you move society forward. But, you know, in small steps. So in this case, right, ISS then, right, ISS does not stand for innovate short sendiri anymore. It stands for innovate in small steps. Okay, that's how you get away from that. Okay, last point. Crazy ideas need to come from everyone, even the tea lady. Right? Everybody must be tasked with coming up with an idea. So, what I learned, actually I learned this the hard way. If an employee has a great idea, the best thing a boss can do is to claim credit. No. If an employee has a great idea, the best thing a boss can do is to get out of the freaking way. Get out of the way, and bosses in Malaysia find it very hard to do this. They always want to get the spotlight no matter what. Get out of the way. Even if the guys are being unreasonable, even if your employees are being unreasonable, actually, especially if they are being unreasonable. I love unreasonable guys because of this next quote, which I also live by the playwright George Bernard Shaw. He says, the reasonable man adapts himself to the world. The unreasonable man attempts to adapt the world to himself. Therefore, all progress depends on the unreasonable man. The crazy guy changed the world. The 12 A1s follow everybody else. The crazy nutcase that jumps the school fence, that's the one we want, right? Right, so, who are you, jumping the school fence? Okay, so if you have the right amount of unreasonable people around you, you can innovate because you have a good team. And this is what's important. So I'm going to end with these last two slides, which might be a bit tough to read here, but I'm going to try. There is a changing leadership skills if you're in charge of a corporation for you to understand. The old school, you compile people with the same skills, which is the same IQ, like a group of marketers or a group of engineers. You put them together, and all of them have different EQ, different temperament, because all of them, like one is like this, one is like that, one's cool, one's easily annoyed, whatever. They have different EQ, same IQ. But because business models are changing super fast and new ideas need to produce every day, there is a new school of management. The new school is to adapt to the speed that we need to work in, to adapt to the unpredictability that we need to work in. Different skills are needed in a team right now, not the same skills. So you need to, if you have a team, you populate it with people you don't even expect to populate in your team, like marketers, designers, accountants, musicians, storytellers, town planners, engineers, researchers. Actually, this exact team is the one that made up 8TV. Just crazy people, but they have the same EQ. And that EQ is they are flexible, they are adaptable, and they're resilient. So instead of having the same IQ and different EQ, now you got to change to different IQ, same EQ. So what we need now from the talent pool in Malaysia, just simply to survive, we need flexibility, as I said, adaptability and resilience, right? This is just to survive. If you don't have this, you'll be run over by the steamroller of life. Now, that's to survive. To thrive, though, to be successful, we need these four things: creativity, originality, gut instinct, and courage. I need these four more than I need the 12 A1s. I need these four more than I need the CGPA of 4.0. I don't need those. I need guys that can give me this. I wish the schools would actually teach courage 101 or something, you know. Then at least it's something that we can use, because if we don't have this, we cannot make the business that we want to make, all right? So when I can tell you, especially now, when I look at resumes I receive from new graduates, I get really worried because the resumes all look the same. They all look like as if they got together and downloaded resumes from resume.com and then just changed the names, and everybody sending looks exactly the same. There is no differentiation. How would I hire this guy? I don't know. So anyway, I just hope that if anything that you got from me tonight is the bottom four, we need this four. However you want to get it, however you want to pass it to all of us, we need this four. Okay, thank you. Thank you.